More than a dot, more than a dot.
Welcome to More Than Dad Podcast. I'm your host, Lou Moog. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth, Dre Moore.
It's good, y'all.
And we got a very, very special guest in the building. Father, boxer, stroke survivor, Anthony Caputo-Smith. How you doing, man?
How you doing, Lou? Thanks for having me, man.
No, man, we want to shout out Chicago, Illinois. We see you in the downloads.
Absolutely.
We play this game called the Fast Five. It's kind of this or that. And we're going to do the boxing edition because you got the boxing background. Go ahead, Dre.
Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford?
I'm taking Crawford, man.
Crawford.
Taking Crawford.
Sonny Liston or Joe Frazier?
Frazier.
I
I think it's just too much work rate for him.
True. Bernard Hopkins or Roy Jones Jr.?
B-Hop.
B-Hop
All day.
Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia?
Tank. My boy, man. I love Tank, man.
He's a beast, dog.
And they have the GOAT debate, Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather?
I'm going with Floyd.
Oh, Floyd.
I love Ali, but I just think Floyd, he changed it. He changed the game. He changed the game for fighters, getting paid.
Right.
And he never lost,
Absolutely.
No, we want to get your thoughts on something, man. We got this little segment, get your thoughts on something as a parent. So there was this little league kid playing like baseball, and he got thrown out the game for cursing at the umpire for calling it a strike instead of a ball or whatever. If you was the parent in that situation and your kid, flicking off the ref, cursing him, throwing his helmet, and walking off the field like that, what would you do if you was the dad in that situation?
Well, I think you got to discipline him. He can't be acting like that. One little thing, you struck out, you struck out. Even if it wasn't a strike, sit your ass down. What are you doing, man?
No,
you don't let that slide, because then you're gonna do it for anything.
Right. Absolutely.
No, man, this is More Than a Dad, man. How's dad life going for you?
Well, I love it. My daughter's everything to me, man. I love it, and having a stroke makes you appreciate it 10 times more, man. Everything. Cherish every moment with your kids and be there for them, because when you can't, that hits you like, damn, man, like, this is tough.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you and Lou know each other?
The Mills, man. Working at the Mills.
Full call. No, let's speak about that a little bit. What's one of the biggest misconceptions of Glen Mills?
People, Stav just, all these kids are bad kids, and Stav just beats them up, which is so far from the truth. And it's so far from the truth, man. There's a lot of good kids in there that didn't have good upbringings.
Right.
That had nothing.
Right.
That had nothing, And they made some mistakes, and hurt their life,
Right.
And we're there to help them.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids, I think the biggest thing I would take away is even kids will be there for, let's say, 6 to 14 months, on average. And whatever, it might have took you 5 months to even get through to a kid to listen to you or agree to comply with participating and doing the program correctly, right?
Right.
But by the time he catches momentum and is earning trust with you and back and forth and making progress, he's released. He gets through the program, and then he don't have the same type of reinforcement out here. So my biggest thing was to take some of these kids from these environments, we had to send them to Nebraska or Oklahoma City. You just can't go from, I was living this type of lifestyle in, whatever city they from, and then you send them back to the same city after 9, 12 months of reform. It's you need a bigger change to sustain.
Something larger.
So talk about our staff and the bond we had. You have lifelong friendships,
Man, it was the best, man. everybody, like I said, when I first got hired, I loved the camaraderie. You know what I mean? Everybody was, had each other's backs. Everybody, it was like a brotherhood, and it's great. Like D, like learning so much from him, and just being good friends. Having friends, lifetime friends, and we were there for each other, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I spent almost 5 years there, man. D,
Yeah.
one of my closest friends, and we don't even hang out in real life. Like, this friendship has now went from, like, working with you every day or every other day, whatever the schedule was, to, like, we haven't worked there forever, right? So, like, me and D just as close today as we were when I was seeing him every day, and he was picking 4 kids, I was picking 4 kids, and we running full court basketball.
Yeah.
We still just that cool. We play the game. He get his brothers, I get my brother. We play Call of Duty, and it's still the same, like you said, camaraderie. It's a lot of guys up there. I had a lot of my closest friends up there, which is crazy. Like, I had Kadeem, man, Royale. I had, like, a lot of...
Wait, how's Royale doing?
He's expecting a second baby. He's doing good. And he coaching football. He's coaching the hell out of football right now. So.
And you know the one guy, I know he was like your boy. I see him on Facebook. Ezzy Ray. What's his real name?
Tracy.
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
I like Tracy. Tracy's definitely
Positive,
good
and he's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah. How you feel about like the school closing and like now like they doing like this thing like it might possibly like reopen?
I think it's cool, man, if it works,
Right.
Because Glen Mills was different, and I don't know how they're gonna make it now, like how it's gonna be, but I hope it can help kids, because it really did help a lot of kids, and I hope it does come back and thrive,
Right.
But we'll see what happens. I mean,
Now, let's get into your early life, man. I actually, as much as, we worked together a couple of years, I don't know much about your personal life. So I'm going to ask you, let's get into it, man. Like, where are you from? Like, what was the household like growing up? Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Kennett Square, man. And I had a good upbringing. I had both parents, and loving parents, good. And I got into boxing, and we just went from there, But I had my father was in my life, and we got along for the most part. But here's the crazy thing: it wasn't until my stroke that me and my dad became really, really tight.
Right.
Because you find out what you lost, and then I would talk to him every day after my stroke. Every day in the hospital, I call him. We could talk every day, and it kind of brought that father-son bond back, which is good.
That's like amazing because especially like as an adult, like people don't really speak to that as much. Like they think like once you kind of get to a certain age, your parents become like less your parents. Like you don't need them as much as you did when like you were little. But the thing about it is like your parents are always gonna be your parents. So like for your entire life, like just to have that bond is like extremely important. Like what was your experience like with your dad like growing up? Like what's something like you admire about him the most?
He's a very, very, very hard worker.
Okay.
I never seen nobody work like my dad. It just, no matter what, get up, go to work every day, bust it out. Come home late at night and just do it over and over again. I never seen nobody work like that, and I'm proud that he's my dad.
All right.
One thing that come up when I show a lot is like, because a lot of people say their dads are like the most hardworking people they know, right? Him going to work, did you feel like he was away too much, or was it a balance? Like, was he away, but did he still come to your T-ball games? Like, was he?
He wouldn't miss a game.
He wouldn't miss
a game. No matter what it was, he wouldn't miss it. So I gotta respect him. I can't never say nothing bad about my father.
No,
Absolutely.
I got you. Is anything that like from him you take into your parenting when you became a dad?
I just try to like be there for my daughter. Try to really. Because he was there for me. I got to be there for my daughter. I got to show her the way and just be there for her, Sometimes being present, you can't always be present because you got to work, you got to do whatever you got to do. But being present when they're there is important because they look up to you like you're God, kind of, Your kids look up to you like they're your hero.
Right.
I mean, you're their hero, like you gotta show them. You got to be there for them.
No, talk about it, man. You just brought up your daughter, man. Like when you got the news you was having a kid, like we talk about it here all the time. Like sometimes you be scared, sometimes you be like nervous. You ain't ready. Your life about to change. Like when you got the news, like you was about to be a pops. Like how you felt?
I was like, oh shit. It's about to get real.
Talk about it. We also get people tell their delivery room stories, man. Like my experience was bad with my daughter. Like it was the middle of COVID. Like they wasn't trying to let people in the hospital and stuff. But like how was your experience in the delivery room? He always talk about people being queasy. Seeing the baby come out. Like what was your experience?
Well, dude, I had a fight scheduled in 2 months, like less than 2 months. So I'm in there doing push-ups and stuff, trying to get all fired up for this. And
you was doing push-ups in the delivery room?
Doing push-ups, trying to train, and it was just wild, man. Like I fell in love right when she came out. I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Did you cry?
I did.
You did cry? What about it made you cry? Because I didn't cry.
I cried
initially.
I just couldn't. I felt her heart, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
that's sweet, bro.
It's like you see life come into something. It's like it's something you don't ever see. Like you don't see that every day. Like you see life come into something, and then like it's you. Like it's a part of you. Like it's real.
It's wild, man.
What do you think is your favorite part about being a father?
Just watching her grow, man, and watching her grow into a good person. Cause like it was like a, it was like a not difficult, but she was like a little wild, like 5-6 years old, and then she had to deal with me having a stroke. It's not easy for her to see me having a stroke, and just seeing her to come out to be like a young lady is just so nice, man. And
Absolutely.
She's such a good person. Like I love it.
What are some I guess pre and post stroke? Like what are some of your favorite things to do with your daughter?
Well, I love to spend time with my daughter. Like we watch movies together. She loves to cook and do anything. So she'll be like, "Dad, do you want me to make you a sandwich?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like she knows how to do all that stuff now, so she does it for me. And like she makes me coffee every morning. Like she just loves to do all this stuff.
Oh, that's dope. And what ways you feel like you've grown, like being a dad compared to when you started? Like I always tell people, like I became a dad at 19, so like I really was like a kid, and that really changed my life and grew me up. So like through my journey through fatherhood, like I matured and got better at certain things. Like what are some things you feel like you've grown at since you first became a father to like today?
I feel like, well, for being a father and being with my daughter, I feel like being more attentive to her, like more like yo, you really got to worry about her. It's just not throw on her tablet and let her play. Like growing, like really be present.
Okay.
Really be present and try to help her out.
Yeah, kind of on that same lines. A lot of guys admit like they struggle with patience or they struggle with. In one way or another, like, they might be co-parenting, so it's two households, it's two set of rules. Yeah. Is there anything in particular in fatherhood for you that you feel like you are working through that you have struggled with?
I think discipline. And when you have a daughter, it's hard. It's hard to be like yelling at her and get her right. Because at first, man, that's why she was being big, because I was letting her do whatever she wanted. Letting her do whatever, say whatever, and now it's like it's not cute.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta like put your foot down.
Yeah, I don't think we ever really talked about that too much. Like the difference in dynamics, how you like discipline your son versus discipline your daughter.
I mean, I got two small. I got a 4 and a 1-year-old, right? I got a 4-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter.
Oh, you got a 1-year-old daughter? Oh,
yeah. And
dude, congrats! I didn't know that.
Not on camera, bro. Let them think we like best friends. No,
but I did. Like, I forgot. I don't know.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. No, what I was gonna say was, I handle them differently. Like my son is like a sweet kid. Like he's like a sweet boy. He's very into education. He's very sweet. He's very express his feelings. And my daughter is like the boy. She's like rough, rugged, hit you, get hit back, look at you like you hit her. She don't care. But you take something from her, she cry like a baby, right? Like it's like I handle them completely different. Like, and it's really flip flop. Like my son, like I could hurt his feelings.
Right, more about yelling at him.
If I yell at him, his world crumble. Like, yo, why did you yell? You know what I mean? And with her, it's like,
you might have to pop her hand.
give me your hand. Like, give me that. You know what? Give me that toy back. Go sit down. Like making her time out right now is like the worst thing in the world. Like, yo, you in prison in your high chair. Like you in prison right now. Like this is where you at. Like, you know, you can't handle. And she pulls out everything, bro. I don't even be talking to you how much stuff she pull out daily, dog. Like she pull out. Like you be in there hands and knees cleaning up stuff. Like she.
No, that's what they do.
It's nuts, bro.
How you get into boxing? Let's pivot a little bit.
Well, there was a gym. I'm from Kennett Square.
Yeah.
Where is that at for the people that? Because he probably like where that's at too.
Where it's at.
Yeah, where's Kennett?
You know Westchester?
Yes, I know
it's
Westchester.
It's like 15 minutes from Westchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But there's not a lot there, you know. And there was a gym in the park that we'd all go to. So I went down there one day and I just fell in love with it. And like I was like 13, 14, 15, whatever. And like when I first started, like I was getting beat up. I was getting the shit out of me. And I was like, but I loved it. You know what I mean? I loved it.
What did you love about it?
I loved the way you competed. I loved training for boxing. I just loved it. Like I loved the one-on-one aspect.
All right.
So versus like a team sport versus
right, it was like mano.
Yeah.
So I think that's better for some people too. Just like in work environments, some people work better alone
Absolutely.
or work better as a team.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting. You know, like
and it's funny, like man against man. You know,
Right,
let's do this.
Just me and you. Yeah.
No talking crap. Just put your hands up. Let's go.
Like going to that gym. Like, was there any other people in super talented boxers there?
At the time, there was one guy, but like he was like on his way out, kind of. Troy Stevenson's name was. He's like our hometown heavyweight,
Right.
And he was the one that ended up started me out training me and stuff, and it was hard, man. He's like 6 foot. I don't know how tall he was, 6'5" or something, 300 some pounds, and he would spar me and just put it on me. You know? It was like,
it was crazy.
The journey in like, talk to me a little bit about this. Like the journey, like in football, right? You play all these years. You get to high school. High school's the big stage. You're trying to make it to college, and then you go to the NFL. NFL is in goal, right? It's a journey of a football player. Yeah. Like, what is the journey of a boxer at 13 years old? What's next? The Olympics? Like, how do you become?
Here's the thing. You try to win the gloves, the Golden Gloves, or whatever. My thing is what I tell everybody this: get as many amateur fights as you can, because the record don't matter.
Right.
The record don't matter. Fight as much amateur fights as you can. Turn pro when you're ready, and then you turn pro, and then.
What's the process of turning pro? Like you just sign some papers, like I'm a pro.
No, like you sign a contract for your fighter, if you get signed by a promoter or manager.
Right.
But you take the headgear off and you start getting paid. That's different.
You don't get paid for amateur fights.
You don't get paid for amateur fights.
I know that.
But so that's why I was like, yo, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
I need some money for this.
Absolutely.
Right. So even at that level, like, is there a livable money, or are people working day jobs and then going to buy?
You got to work a day job unless you're signed with somebody big.
Okay.
So I mean, I was working the whole time, fighting. It was tough.
Okay.
Right. What's your style or your philosophy as a fighter?
They call me the bull.
Right.
So I'm trying to put as much pressure on you as I can, because, you know, I'm fighting guys 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", long reach.
Right.
I got to get inside, bang them to the body, and wear them down, you know.
Absolutely.
What weight class did you fight at?
I started off 175. It's light heavyweight. I was like 14-2 or something like that in light heavy. Then I moved to cruiserweight, and that was stupid because I ended up.
What's the weight for cruiserweight?
200 and under. Used to make 200.
Okay.
But I had a lot of trouble making 175 towards the end. So that's where I went up. And then you're fighting big dudes, man. Like guys coming down from 240, 250 just to make that weight.
Oh, my God.
So like, what's the like? Is it easier to go down in weight or to go up in weight?
Well,
Like as far as like,
if you're fighting, I think it's tougher to go up because, well, it's tough either way because
Right.
you have to suck weight to make the weight if you go down.
uh-huh.
So you're tired and you're not as strong.
Okay.
But then when you go up, you're fighting some big people, man.
You feel like heavier. You feel slower when you
Yeah,
go up in weight.
yeah. Not all the time, but you're fighting the guys that are.
Oh, they naturally like that.
Yeah, they're
size
just
and-
naturally big,
Okay.
and
Absolutely.
a lot of them have so long reach.
No, talk about some of the best trainers you've trained with.
Oh, Mario Tiberi, man. This guy, Mario Tiberi from Delaware, he was a different type of tough, man. Like this guy, he was tough. I trained with Greg Pritchett from Delaware. He's a good dude. He runs MVJ Athletics in Delaware. He was real good. But Mario, man, Mario was just he was different. Like you couldn't be late for his training camp or first training days. We'd be like, yo, what do you, like, go home. He was just tough, and like he'd make us run like 4 or 5 miles to start out, and then he make us spar like 12, 16 rounds. So we're already kind of tired because we just ran.
Right.
So just outside of that, so his emphasis was cardio. It sounded
Yeah.
like.
Right.
So
He wanted to make sure nobody was going to outwork us.
okay.
When we get in the fight, we're in better shape than anybody, and we'll just run through them.
That's dope.
That's what his motto was.
Who would you say are some of the best fighters that you sparred with
Sparred.
or fought?
Well, one guy from Philly, I always say he's the best guy I was ever in the ring with. And I was in the ring with Bernard Hopkins, shit like that. So I sparred Bernard, but sparring, you know, a kid named Jesse Hart
Yes.
from North.
Yeah.
Dude,
this
I don't
guy.
know
Yeah.
that guy. He's a different level, man.
Hollywood Heart. Yeah, Hollywood
Yeah.
Heart. Yeah. So.
what was it about Hollywood Heart, man?
So long, he was long, and he was just so fast, and he wanted to knock you out. He wasn't playing, like he wanted to put a beating on you. Cause I walked in, I think it was 23rd and Berks,
Yeah.
ABC Rec Gym,
Mhm.
and I walk in the gym. It's a real hot day, and I see Jesse. Right, Jesse's hitting the bag, pouring sweat, and I'm like, hell yeah. I was like, I don't have to spar him today. He's tired. And he's done his workout. I was like, thank God I spar one of these other guys. And then my coach was like, yo, get your stuff on. Got my stuff on, get in the ring. Got in the ring. I turn around. Jesse jumps in, starts running around like crazy. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. Here we go. And like, he put a pretty good one on me. But I mean, we mix it up good. But Jesse's tough, man.
So that's what's up.
No, who's like one of the actual best fighters you fought like in the ring for an actual match?
I think this kid, it's on YouTube. His name's Ola Afolabi. He had like 20 some fights. He should have been a world champion. He lost 4 times world championship. So he like, but they was robbed
Right.
Right.
all the time. We can watch it. He was robbed, and that guy, man, he was just different animal.
No, talk about that. We don't ever get to talk that with actual boxing people. Like how you feel about decisions
Right.
and like do you be like sitting there like, yo, are y'all watching the same fight? Like, like you know what I mean? Like how do you feel?
Oh yeah, well I mean it's a crooked business. It's real crooked boxing, and like the thing is like for me, for example, I'm a good club fighter. I put asses in seats. Sorry, I put butts in seats, and I put a good show on.
Right.
Right.
But against the elite level, I admit it. You can't mess with these guys. These guys are on a different level. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the fight. I'll get paid. I'm gonna take a beating. I'm gonna try. Every fight I try, I'm gonna knock you out. That was my thing. Like, yo, I'm gonna at least try to knock you out.
Right.
But these guys were just on another level, man.
He ain't try to go to the scorecards. We gonna have to end it before the scorecards, man.
What is it like being in the ring? Like actually like just like being in the ring.
It's a rush, man. And like I tell people, from the dressing room to the ring,
Mm-hmm.
you know how many guys lose the fight back there because
Right.
they're so nervous or scared or whatever there's going on. Like you got to control that because I seen guys break down back there, and you know, fights you maybe should have won, you lost because you're in your head too much.
Right.
Now talk about like round and round, being winded or really being hurt and going to your corner. Like what are them interactions like?
Well, like one time I was fighting a 10-round fight, right? State championship fight, and it was the 4th round. I go back to the corner, and we're going at it, me and this guy, and I'm like, it's got to be the 10th, or at least the 8th round. I look up in the 4th round. I'm like, it's gonna be a long night.
No, but talk about like the interaction between you and your coach in the corner. Like, can you communicate with them? Like, yo, my hand is broke, or like I'm hurting, or I'm hurt. Like what's that relationship like? Because you know, the guys be mad when they call the fight, they throw in the towel.
Big time. I told them, don't you ever throw the towel on me. Like, I mean, if you're hurt,
once you hurt,
yeah. And then one time, like, my eye, I think you've seen the picture of it before. My eye was like out to here during the fight.
Yeah.
And they were like putting something on it. They're like the ice swell thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, get that thing off me. And they're like, we have to. Your eye's bad. And I was like, yo, get that thing off because it hurts. So it hurt when they put it on me.
Right.
But like, it's good because they'll tell you if you're losing. Like, some coaches be like, oh, you're winning. Like, nah.
You saying they be lying.
You got to tell them the truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me I'm losing so I can try to knock you out at least.
Right.
You know? But one time, South Philly guy. I fought this guy. You know Garrett Wilson?
I actually don't know Garrett Wilson.
No.
Garrett Wilson from South Philly. Strong guy. I fought him for Pennsylvania state title, right, in 2014. And I knew he was a big puncher. But I didn't know how big puncher he was.
Right.
So it's the first round. And, you know, we're fighting. And he's hitting me like on my arm, my wrist.
Right.
I never thought this in my life fighting. I said, yo, he's putting me out tonight. I said, yo, this mother, like, he hit hard, boy. Like, just touching me. I was like, yo, he's putting me out tonight. And, like, going back to my corner in the second round because he hit me with some shots, my guy, Joey I, he was like, dude, you were talking. We didn't understand what the hell you were saying. You were gone.
Mm.
And third round, he put me out. I got up at the count of 10, but it was over. He knocked me the hell out.
Mm.
And I was like, damn, I knew it. Like, once when he just touched me.
Feel the power.
I was like, yo, what the hell's going on?
So, like, when he knocked you out, like, what it was like? Like, you was, like, conscious or, like, you was sleep? Like, how, like...
Oh, you're going to laugh. I got up, right?
Right.
I got up at the count of 10. Nobody even knows how I got up. I looked like the Undertaker when I got up. I got up, and I was like moving, and the referee was in front of me, like, seeing if I was okay. I'm like, yo, get away from me. Let's rumble.
Right.
Like, I thought I was ready to fight. I didn't know I was out. I didn't know I was out. I was like, what are you talking about? It's third round. Let's go. Like, yo, you just got knocked out. Sit down.
Wow. No, talk a little bit about recovery, man. You talked about like having like injuries, like you ever like broke bones in your face or your jaw, or you talked about your eye being out the hair. Like nobody ever talks about the recovery of a boxer. Like what do you do when you home and everybody ain't catering to you in front of the lights? Like when your eye is out here and you gotta watch ESPN, like my out here.
Well, I broke my nose so many times. I broke my orbital, and that hurt. I had to go to the hospital for that. Because I was like, yo, I can't see. I mean, something's wrong. They're like, fine, we'll take you to the hospital. And it was a broken orbital.
Mm.
But this is crazy. Right now, recovering from a stroke, I bet you I could pass to fight. They will pass anybody. And here's the problem. When I woke up from my stroke, 2 doctors came in. They're like, yo, did you play football or hockey? And I was like, nah. They're like, did you do anything physical? I was like, yeah, I was a professional boxer for 10 years. They're like, oh, that's what. Did you get hurt? I was like, yeah. They're like, dude, you had 2 old brain bleeds. That's where it got to be from.
Wow.
Oh.
Because it was so easy to pass the physicals. It was so easy.
So you're trying to say like boxing isn't regulated like to have courty stuff, right?
Yeah, they just want to get you in there and get paid, man. That's all it's about.
Oh.
No, man.
So you didn't even hear about nothing about anything like a brain bleed or anything until after you had your stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Let's finish up boxing because we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Let's just finish this up real quick. What's your greatest moment in boxing and your lowest moment in boxing?
My greatest moment was, probably winning 2 state titles. I won 2 state titles, light heavyweight and cruiserweight.
Okay.
And my lowest moment had to be, I was supposed to fight on Mayweather-Pacquiao undercard, and I had my high blood pressure and I couldn't fight. It was such a letdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super disappointing.
All right, man. Let's talk about it, man. When did you have your stroke? And walk us through that day and like what do you remember from that day?
Dude, I was at my parents' and I was watching TV in the basement. It was November 2020, and on November 27th.
This is before COVID.
No,
this is after. This during COVID.
During COVID. Okay.
So like, I was like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta pee like real bad. So I got up, go upstairs to go to the bathroom, and I just dropped. And I couldn't get up. I tried so hard to get up, I couldn't get up. My mom, she came downstairs, and she's like, what the hell are you doing on the floor? I was like, I like it down here. It's cooler. I'm hot. Because I don't want her to get scared.
Yeah,
and she's like, but she said I was all like twisted up. I looked weird. So she's like, you can't get up, can you? I was like, yeah, I can. She's like, you had a stroke. I'm calling 911. I said, don't you call 911. I'm fine. I thought I was fine. And she's like, get up. I was like, I tried to get up. She's like, you can't get up. I'm calling 911. So thank God you called 911.
Absolutely.
Ambulance came. And I remember the ambulance ride and thinking I'll be home in like a couple hours or a couple days. I had no idea what was going on. It's weird, man. It's because like you don't know. Like you think you're fine, but you're not.
What happened once you got to the hospital?
Passed out.
Passed out?
I just went out. I don't really remember much.
How long were you in the hospital for?
Well, I went to Chester County Hospital, and they helicoptered me to Penn, and I was in a coma for 16 days.
So when you wake up like out of a coma, like,
dude,
like now it's like 2.5 weeks and went by. Like, how is that like catching up and things coming back to you? Like, cause of course you don't. I'm sure like when you're in a coma, time is like not moving, not like a thing.
Well, here's the crazy thing. When I woke up from the coma, I didn't know I was in a coma. So like you don't know.
Right.
And I was dreaming the whole time, but my dreams were so vivid that like I was living.
Right.
Well, I was living a different life. Like I took another girl out. I took another girl out, and I was like, "Yo, Melissa finds this out, I'm dead." And like I was so nervous, they were calling me stuff. I'm like, and I had to call my cousin and be like, "Yo, check my Facebook. They're putting all this up on Facebook that I went out with this girl and stuff." And my cousin Lolly's like, "What are you talking about? Everybody's like being positive. You had a stroke. Like, what do you?" I was like, "No, like, I took this girl out. Like, named Sonny Andrews." I'm like, I was like, look up if you see a girl named Sonny Andrews on my Facebook talking all this crap. And she's like, "Anthony, there's no Sonny on your Facebook. Like, stop." And I'm like, "Yo, man, like, I was so nervous. Because her mom worked at Penn. And we have each other on Facebook and stuff. So I was like, damn, she's going to come in here and be so mad at me."
Yo.
Bro, worrying about I'm cheating and just had a stroke and woke from a coma is nuts.
Yo.
You done made this whole person up. You remember the name.
Because he's like, you know how like, I was just thinking about like, you know how like you be in a dream, but like your dreams be like an hour maybe or so, then like it's over. He's talking about being in like a 16-day dream.
Jesus.
Now he done been doing this whole like.
He got a whole relationship with this. He got a whole relationship
for like 16 days.
I know her birthday, her favorite color.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Yo, that's crazy.
Trust me, man, it was scary. Man. It was scary.
What did the stroke change like in your day-to-day life and like, you know, like how it has affected you and like relationships and people around you and stuff like that?
It changes everything. But like, thank God, like we made it. You know, what I mean? We lasted through this.
Right.
She been there 100% for me, and that's huge because like, I see so many horror stories of people that were married, they get divorced, or their girlfriend leaves them, or boyfriend leaves them, or whatever. Because that's just not the same, you know.
Right.
It's hard. Like she got to drive everywhere.
Right.
You know how hard that is for a man to be like, yo, I can't. Like, it's tough, man.
Like you can't do what you used to.
Yeah.
You can't be the
And
person.
I'm 50% blind.
All right.
So I can't do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I'm here.
Absolutely.
From my stroke I had, it's a 24% survival rate. So that other 76%, they died.
All right.
So why am I here? You know what I mean? I got to make the most of it.
Absolutely.
I got to stay positive no matter how hard it is, you know?
That's real.
Talk about some, like you just mentioned, being 50% blind. Talk about some of the other permanent damage that the stroke did to your body.
Well, I haven't moved this hand. This hand hasn't opened up, and since the stroke, I haven't been able to open it up by itself. I can't. I'm not able to walk right now without a cane. I can, but it's very shaky. My whole left side of my body is just like has like a weird feeling, and it's like slowly coming out, and also I have a pump in my stomach with a tube to my spinal cord to pump out medicine to make this looser.
Okay.
Right.
So it's been a wild ride, man.
Absolutely. Did it like while you was there? Did they talk to you about like what like the doctor? They touched about like what causes a stroke or like how we could prevent them and stuff like that. Like anything you would want to share with somebody?
Yeah, definitely, man. Because people need to know there's like high blood pressure is nothing to play with, and we were talking about it a little bit. Like you don't really feel it. It's a silent killer because you don't feel it. You know what I mean? And like, but then it might come too late when you don't take care of it, and boom, you're on the floor like, well, you know, it's not good. So the blood pressure, you gotta get that under control.
I'm about to say that's the only
Like that's a big thing.
that's the biggest thing that leads to stroke is high blood pressure.
Yeah, that's like for my type of stroke, hemorrhagic stroke is blood pressure.
So is blood pressure something that you struggle with the whole time, or?
Yeah, I've been struggling with it for since I was 25. That's when I got diagnosed with it, and I went to the doctors and I got on medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me feel so bad that I was like, yo, I'm never taking blood pressure medicine again. But that was a mistake, and I should have just kept trying different medicines and tried things. I was like, I can do it by myself, get my blood pressure down. But obviously, it didn't work.
All right.
No, we getting to the end of this, man. Any advice you want to give or motivation you want to give to anybody else in your same situation, or to people to give them the knowledge to prevent, any messages you want to leave?
The only thing I can really say is, we got one life. Live it as best as you can, and cherish everything you have in your life. A lot of people, you know, they're not, you know, they look past things. They don't realize what they got till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have kids, cherish your kids, take care of your kids, and love them, because at any time it can be over.
Absolutely.
No.
My last question is, what does being more than a dad mean to you?
Everything.
Everything.
It means everything, man. Like, I'm just not gonna be a guy on the paper, you know.
Right.
I'm gonna be in my daughter's life. I want to make sure she's all right. And more people gotta have that mindset, because if not, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to the kids. They ain't asked to be here, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, we want to thank you for coming,
we
doing
Yeah,
the more
thank
than
you
a
guys
dad.
for having
We
me.
really appreciate you for coming for sure.
Man, this is a very special episode for me, man. I appreciate you coming all the way out here.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you for the support. Everybody that supports More Than a Dad. The downloads, the views, sharing stuff. Sometimes me and Dre get DMs, or people meet us in public and talk about it. So it's been amazing. This episode's so special to me, man.
No, this is real.
Until next time, guys.
We out.
Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful, and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dad. More than a dad.